Hi, I'm Shaquille O'Neal. I'm wearing Rick's sunglasses, made in Australia.
Shaq loves Australia.
See?
There we
That's
go.
your first commercial right there.
Head to checkout and use the discount code ACES and you'll get 20% off site-wide. Rick's, eyewear that inspires confidence. Welcome back, everyone. Another episode of Tommy Talks this week. Izak Rankine is in the building. We have an absolute superstar on the pod. We've come to Adelaide. How good's this? Travis Head, Izak Rankine, in and out. See you later.
That's right. God's country. Got a bit of talent over here. So welcome. But yeah, thanks for having me.
It's good to have you on. What are we now? It's pretty much the start of Feb, end of Jan. It's the fun time. This is where blokes like you actually dominate. I don't know what your training schedule looks like, but blokes like me back in the day, we train our asses off and then in comes the absolute superstars and they make a fool of everyone. The balls come out. No more running and carrying on straight line stuff. It's football time.
Yeah, a bit of footy time. It's a bit more fun when the balls come out, obviously. But yeah, look, every year it sort of doesn't really get any easier. You know, you sort of just get used to the hardness of preseason and the off season and coming back ready and fit. So I was just hanging on, but we played 2 quarters today, which was fun.
That's brilliant. The boys are you still tracking GPS and putting it on in the gym so people can compare how hard they train and all that stuff. Is that
I'm not sure what he's doing over there, but we get sent it every night. Obviously, you can go to the table and have a quick squiz of where you're at. But yeah, I think we would have done. Well, last week we definitely did 35.
Wow.
35 Ks that week, and then 10 on Monday. Almost, I reckon 12 on Monday, and then another 11, 12 today. So it's been a lot of Ks, but within that's been a lot of footy and structure and intent and purpose with what we want to do this year.
Yeah, well said. Well, the defense really picked up at the end. The offense has always been there. What is it? What's the one thing you're trying to work on a little bit more over the preseason?
Yeah, we've sort of just trying to hone a few areas. Nothing too drastic, you're not changing, game plans and things like that. So we just come together, and I know we've got a quite, mature group in the sense of people understanding the game. And, you got players like Dan Curtin, who's, really smart, with the ball, he's big as well. And Jake Saligo's hitting his strides as well. So a lot of that, younger group that's getting towards that middle age now and starting to become more aware of the game and, where they need a position and how they're going to help the team by playing their role. We've sort of just grown in that area. A few terms here and there we've changed. But, yeah, I think the message is very clear amongst all the boys and, where we want to get to and how far we want to go as a club.
I saw a photo of actually Dan Curtin's rig the other day. I mean, he's a big unit.
He's a big boy.
Hey, mate, is he now 21?
Yeah, he'd be about that, 22.
He's a monster, mate.
Yeah, I can't believe how big he is.
And the way he moves and that, it's a freakish size.
It's not. I'm not glazing right now, but it's a bit just like you're in awe sort of when he gets the ball and he's palming blokes off like grown men, like they're kids. So it's scary what the future holds for him.
Is he all right? I saw that him and a few of the boys are wrestling the other day, but is he all good?
Yeah, we did a bit of wrestling.
Are we cutting the wrestling out now? Like Nixie?
I think as soon as they said wrestling, I was sort of like, what is going on here? And there's a few looks around, so we were worried in that area because we just done a bloody hard sesh.
Yeah.
Did our running. Everyone's sort of on the way off the track and they go wrestling. So, that happened. Unfortunately, Dan hurt his knee, but it looks as though it's not that bad, not too damaged structurally. So we're still getting word on how long that's going to be, but he'll bounce back. He's done the work. He's very, very disciplined. He's very smart. He knows, where to put his effort in. So he'll cut down on the surfing a bit, which will be smart. But yeah, I'm excited for Dan.
Maybe that's the key, surfing. You get that rig in order. I couldn't believe how they're he's got the abs popping out, the guns. I'm thinking he's only 21, 20 years old. But he's drafted really well. It's a great list. As I said, was it last year? Was it 15th or 16th to first?
Yeah.
We can talk about that later on, but it's a nice young core and great fellas. Like I've got to know a lot of the boys who, Izak Cumming and all the rest of it, Jordan Dawson, like there's, mate, elite operators at the club. Yeah,
you're right. We did jump from 15th to first, but, that sort of sporadic jump wasn't really that sporadic for us. I think we've been putting the work in for years now. And when I got here, they were already putting the work in. They were already structuring, getting a good base, good platform. And Nixie was really, encouraging some good habits within in amongst the group. I think the whole coaching staff has been delivering the message and really getting everyone on board with how we want to play and how we want to go and just places to be as an individual. But Dawson's great. He seems, what is he, 28? He seems like he's 35. The way he understands the game, he's smart. He's relatable. He's personable. You can have a chat. So him to lead the team is just special for us. And then all Dan Curtin sort of mob and Max as well. He's ripping up training, man. He's just running for handball receives left, right, centre and getting ignored, which he doesn't like. Throws his hands up. Even like Keeney though, like someone that come from an Irish background, come over here, and I think last year he was the number one interceptor. I think he had the most intercepts, and he's just. He's from where he was, because we went through the IS together, or the NAB Academy together, and he came in raw, obviously, but just a good build, good potential, and to just see his journey and where he's got to now, and then to play alongside him, thinking, bloody hell, like you 8 years ago would never be able to do this.
He couldn't even catch.
He still had the same attitude. He still had the same.
He's angry, isn't he?
He still had the same desire. Like he's not.
You want him on your side.
He's not someone where you go, okay, he's not putting in effort. You know what I mean? He's someone that does the work. He's very disciplined. He's very aggressive, they could say, but he just wants to win. He's just very passionate about us becoming the best we can, and him individually as well. So, Keeney's going to come a long way, actually.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to run into Keeney, I reckon, or they're running to the wrong side.
I'm a fielder out on a night out either.
He doesn't muck around. The Irish, they're great fellas, the Irish. So we used to have one at the Dockers. I've always spoken about him, Sean early, but he was mad as a cut snake when he wanted to be.
Oh, yeah. I've come across a few of them, and especially stay that way. Yeah.
No, as I said, you got a great list. And Big Texan, he's still going around again. What's his role going to look like this? He's a sharpshooter. Does he play deep, up high?
Yeah, I think they're just sort of talking through that. He's been training with the squad consistently, getting taken out of drills every now and again, but he seems to be going all right. It just depends on how his body's going to hold up. They're going to have to make that call week in, week out, and it takes a lot of, honesty with yourself to figure out where you're at and what's best for the team, what's best for the club. But I love playing with Tex. I would never ever imagine myself not playing with him anymore. So he's been a great role model for me. And definitely when he's on the field, he instructs, he organises. He doesn't move fast, but he
tells everyone else where to stand.
He can tell everyone else where to stand and call it in.
But that is important though, that experience and just the structure, especially when you're fatigued and you've got someone following you.
Yeah.
You can sometimes forget about the team structures, and someone like him is very important because when they're not playing, you can lose it like that. 100%.
And you saw that a few games where I think he did step out. And, we didn't, step to that occasion and didn't feel the role as well.
Guys, I've just had a look at the data and 60% of you do not subscribe to our content, but you consume it. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you get alarmed with all our content so you do not miss a beat. Righto, enough of me. Let's get back into the show. Mate, let's talk about growing up. Family of 7. I've done a little bit of prep on this, but you get some great stories, but now the way you're living, you're probably on a juicy contract and life's looking pretty good, but hey, it wasn't the case growing up as well. You said you're kind of off air, but you did it quite tough, and it's a pretty inspiring story for a lot of young guys. So I'd be keen to get you to dive into what it was like growing up.
Yeah, right. Obviously coming from an Indigenous background, it tended to have a bigger family. So I was in a family of 7. I got 3 brothers and 3 sisters. And what have we got now? Probably like 14 or 15 nieces and nephews at this point. But just growing up was, was sort of, always sports was always around, basketball, footy, tennis was huge. We loved playing tennis and just getting outside and staying active and, not having the luxuries of things inside, with how the house was sort of set up, but, always exploring, being outside on bikes, BMXs and trying to, stay out of the household as much as possible. But it was tough. There's a lot of nieces and brothers and sisters and nephews that come in. So, growing up, we used to share the beds and have 3 sleeping with you. So that was looking back, it's interesting, but at the time it's very normal. It's very normal to live like that at that age and not know any better. And, sort of be set these circumstances and still feel like I can achieve something, was huge. So I think my family did a good job in that way, and my brothers and siblings did a good job instilling, that competitiveness and also that sort of desire to just want to get out of the struggle, want to do something with your life and not just get stuck in this rat race, people call it. So I was always trying to find a way out and find things to do that I was a bit better at, and things that I wasn't that good at, I'd try and stick away from them. So school being one of those. School was always went to school with my brother and my sister. So, always had a bit of support at school from Cowandilla days, which is, reception to year 3. And then 3 onwards to year 7, I was at Torrensville. But always with, my brothers and sisters, and, no one really said much to us. We'd always make sure, primary school definitely, we always made sure there was a footy game or anything, cricket game, any basketball games going on, we always put a hand straight up. So just to get out of class a bit. But those were the good old days, you could say. And at that point in your life, at that age, you're not really thinking, you're not really comparing yourself, and not really understanding the situation you're dealt. So, got through primary school and had a lot of support there. And then going to high school, things start to change. You start to want to, go out and hang out with mates and I guess get girlfriends and things like that. But those are sort of the discipline decisions I sort of made. Going through high school was just always what's going to be the best for me, and I didn't always get it right. I always had to make a decision, and if that was the wrong one, then I had to sort of deal with it. But a lot of times, the household at home with I guess my dad and stuff wasn't always I guess you could say like the nicest. So finding your own ways to trainings and things like that if something was going wrong, and Mum and Dad was sort of going through a separation at 15 and 16, so they were dealing with their own things, and having so many kids was just sort of made it hard, getting the trainings and getting to school and things like that. So occasionally, I wouldn't go to school, I wouldn't go to training just because I didn't have to, or there was no one really pressuring me to at that age. But got through high school, started playing footy and basketball, and still playing I think I played rugby union for a year, played tennis for a bit, but just finding ways to keep myself moving and keep myself creative and just enjoying it. And ended up, going to Henley High, and you get on a sports scholarship, so you could go there for whatever sport you chose, so football or basketball. And I started doing basketball when I got to Henley, and then would have been year 9 or year 10, I decided to go and play basketball just to give myself a break from, the footy outside of, Westies or the Sanford footy. It was pretty tough going to Sanford and playing footy there, and then going to school and playing footy and weren't having a footy lesson. So I tried to split it up and play basketball, which was one of my main interests outside of footy. But school areas were challenging at times, but I wouldn't change it for the world. You sort of look back now and understand why you are who you are as a person and why you do certain things. And it's always good to self-reflect and, improve in areas of your life, whether that be just relationships with friends, relationship with your parents, or the way you get up out of bed, the way you get up and then decide, I'm going to get up today and have a good day. Too often people getting up and already starting the day on their phones, and they're getting fed all these negative feelings. So then they go about their day and they've already filled their head up with, the world's ending, and then you try and do something you enjoy and the passion isn't there. So I just try and keep it open and explore ways to just keep my mind on myself and just self-reflect as much as I can. So
it's really well said, mate, and really well kind of broken down all of that. I want to ask you a question. Is there a moment where you look back now and you go, I can't believe I used to do that?
Yeah, sorry if I went on a bit further there.
Don't be sorry, mate. That is the absolute dream, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't want to get too specific, like talking there, but I think now that you say that, it's sort of, there's a lot of times, where, you just wouldn't have the necessary needs, you'll sort of look back now and just know going to school with no food and things like that, and being homeless at one area of my life, and having to be my own boss, for the first couple of weeks it's fun. I'm gonna tell you that much. For the first couple of weeks it's school holidays, and you're your own boss. No one tells you what to do. So that was fun for the first couple of weeks, but then real life reality starts to hit you. And I remember there's a few turning points in my life, but one in particular was when, was at a party, I'd sort of go to different parties with a backpack and sort of cruise around and just see who's having a gaff, we used to call it, and then try and stay at the house as long as possible. So we would just pack my backpack, go to a party and just try and stay there, sort of thing. So that was sort of my tactic at that age. That's awesome. And I remember one morning, this was sort of a turning point for me. I was out one morning and stayed at the house where they had the party, and I woke up and went out the back and was sort of, it was 6, 7 a.m., a couple hours sleep. And we were sitting there, I would have been 16 or something like that. Oh, maybe 17. Yeah, 16, 17. I was sitting at the back and the mum's out there, she's having a smoke, and then she sort of offers smokes around to the kids. And I'm thinking, she's offering us smokes, like cigarettes. My parents would never, ever offer, they might be smoke or they might drink, but they would never, ever try and offer someone bad stuff, knowing that this is, at that age in particular, can have huge effects on how your life's going to go. You know what I mean? So I remember that happening and thinking, nah, I'm good. And decided to go home and move back in with Dad and then trying to achieve something. I just knew footy was something that I was good at. I don't know how far it's going to take me or how far. I didn't know it would take me this far either. So having that, tough love from my parents was good in a way also. I learned a lot of lessons about, like I said, do it yourself. You're your own boss. No one's in charge of your life. I feel as though if you're guided too much, you tend to get really comfortable and you tend to just enjoy what you have rather than seeking more out of yourself and more out of people you hang around with. So that was a massive turning point, and I'm really grateful I had to go through that, or I had to deal with that. And that's one example. We've got a lot more examples, sleeping on the streets and dealing with depression and things like that. But, the common message I get out of it is just be grateful and appreciate what you have and never settle, I think. I think being comfortable is dangerous. I think people got to be uncomfortable as a footballer. Like, I think football has taught people so much and has inspired me and millions of other people to be better than what they are at that specific moment. So you obviously clearly had your ups and downs through football and things like that, but I'd put my life on it that you look back and you think, oh yeah, I've learned some good lifelong learnings from football.
Oh, 100%.
Good and bad,
Yeah,
so
it's definitely. You also learn what you wouldn't do to certain people, the way other people. But it's also like, I kind of appreciate that because it's made me fight through it. You navigate your way through.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
There's no right or wrong really, but it's like life, man. There's a hurdle in front. You're going to have to jump over, or you're going to, back away. And there's always something that's around the corner. You don't know when, but you just got to be ready for
100%.
it. I love that you opened up there. I mean, I can't sit here and say I've slept on the street, but I actually just want to know if you want to open up. But when you say you stayed on the street, there's nights where you had like you're genuinely sleeping on the street. Like that's where I think these examples are fantastic for people to realize, what it was like, how tough it was for you growing up. And maybe if there is a night that stands out because it's very inspiring to see where people can get to or where they can come from, I should say.
Yeah,
and where you are now. And now that, you're sharing your story and you're motivating a lot of people, especially in the indigenous community. And we're going to get to your music and all the other stuff soon.
Yeah.
You're not just a one-trick pony, mate. There's a lot of angles you're going down. So I just love to touch on that before we get to the next piece.
Yeah. I think, that time of your life, like I mentioned before, is sort of normal. So I reflect now and I look back now and it's not normal. But just being that age and doing that and having the opportunity, well, not the opportunity, but having the ability to choose to do this is crazy. And at that time, it was normal because I was sleeping with other kids. I wasn't like there on my own. It was like there's other kids as well that their parents and things like that aren't in their lives, or they just come from, homes that just don't have that much discipline. Now that I look back on it, just didn't have the right setup and and that was a common case growing up for me. Like just coming from, an Indigenous background, to put it bluntly, you are in a disadvantage when you first come into this world, and especially with just how hard my culture was hit and how much history and how much language and how much learnings and how much teachings have been lost. And then you try and look to the people that are affected, but they're going through stuff. They're dealing with their own, their parents being part of the stolen generation. They're dealing with, depression, with their families are dying, or they're just being taken out of their home country. That's huge. And for a lot of Indigenous kids, that's the story, or, that's sort of the case is that the parenting and that sort of era are dealing with it. People try to say it's a long time ago, but, my nana was affected. My parents are affected. I'm affected, So when people say it's a long time ago, it's not, just to put that there. But as I mentioned, it's just that was normal. And I look back now, I say it's not normal. But yeah, there was a lot of times where you go in the city or somewhere, or we meet halfway in the city and we'll just go sleep on the park or just stay up as long as we can. Just to give you an example, we just more or less you'll just go to a party or you go somewhere, you hang out, you cruise around the city or you cruise around the suburbs and never don't go to sleep until you're all tired, you know what I mean? And then you just find a park and go sleep for like 2 hours and then go to someone's house or find something to do, Remember you cruise around and people were like picking, dollars off the floor and just worrying about change, like trying to go through the cupboards and where's $1, where's $2, where's $3. And I remember growing up, you know where all the change is. Like someone leave change around, you're like, okay, that's $1 right there. Are they gonna take it? Are they gonna pick it up? And then if they leave, or your aunties or uncles left, and they left their $1 there, you'd be grabbing that $1. You know what I mean? So that was the sort of things you have to think about and worry about, which is tough now when you look back. Like, damn, like you wouldn't want your kids to have to deal with things like that. But as I said before, it was just the norm, and just dealing with anxiety, depression, separation anxiety. I was, as a kid, I was fostered out, early on in my life. And I think as you get older, to my age now, 25 going on 26, is when all those things start to affect you and you start to realize what you had to go through as a kid. And a lot of instances, I would see, the carers come and grab me and remove me from the house. I can picture it now and just seeing my parents and stuff crying or something like that, or see some of the other kids get taken from their family and they have them crying and things. So there was a lot of trauma going up, but as I mentioned before, you look back, it's always in the moment. It's just, how do I survive this? In the moment, it's more or less, this is what's happening. How do I deal with the next step? What am I going to do now? And often it was drugs and it was alcohol, and it is, people do look for the easy option. So you got to deal with that. As a young kid, see my sisters and, we'll get too deep, but like, my sisters, had an addiction, in and out of rehab, in jail, siblings go to jail, family goes to jail, people pass away, stabbings, just gang sort of stuff as well. And dealing with that as a young kid and having that there. And I could just imagine if I didn't have footy or if I didn't have another light to look down, like what else are you going to do? You know what I mean? What else are you going to do that? Because it's cool, because you're gangster. You know what I mean? Because you hang out with the boys, this is sick. Hang out all night and then we go look through houses, then we go through cars. We used to do that sort of stuff, like try and rob people. Like, what else at that age? Like, you don't know anything else though. It's so easy. It's so fun to do. And then when you get to 18, 17, 16, that's when you start to really have to make decisions and figure out what you want to do. And then too often people are already stuck in those habits that their environment has given them, or their circumstances given them. When you're 7, I think up till 7, you're creating habits, you're learning habits. That 0 to 7, I think, is when you really create who you are and who you are as a person, and the habits that you form over those 7 years are what then lead you into, teens and stuff. And then it's only when you get to over 20, 25, you start looking back like, I wish I had better habits, or I wish I was around a better environment, or I wish I had better role models. But for me, I just had that belief. I had enough support around me to the point where, they would tell you off for doing the wrong thing or doing what everyone else is doing, because I think they probably could see the talent, or they could see the gifts that I held. And definitely in high school, I got a lot of help from teachers. I had my own teacher, so like had the AIM program as well. Like growing up, going through school was tough because I'm light skinned. So like my nan is black and really dark skinned. My nieces and nephews are like really dark, and then I'm light skinned. So you go to school where there's a lot of lighter people, and the casual racism is crazy. I couldn't believe it. The amount of fights I got in, or just sticking up, not even fights, just sticking up saying, hey, watch your mouth, or don't say that. And they're like, oh, well, you're not like that black. But you're not really like, you're only like half. Yeah, I'm half. I'm either black or I'm not. I'm Aboriginal. I'm not Aboriginal. Like I am Aboriginal, and I am whatever else I am. I got Irish in me. I'm Irish as well. So I think people to understand that, how much casual racism does occur, and until we start standing up as a friendship group, which I think is taking there's been a lot of strides in that area, definitely, especially at, with my age group of people, pulling each other up and things like that. So dealing with that in high school, fighting, having football, but just having football to look forward to, Jack Lukosius went to school with me, and he'd say the same thing. A lot of times, I wouldn't go to school, but if we had a footy game, I'll be there at 7 a.m. I'll be there on time for the bus to go to the game. So football and sport in general, man, it saved my life. For real, it saved my life.
Oh, it saved all of our lives. I'll give you the tip. I think it's the most beautiful thing that can happen, especially team sport as well. Working with people, different cultures, one common goal. Everyone drops their egos. You're exercising. It's distraction cardio. People don't realise the power of team sport. And I think it's something that definitely helped me as well as you. I just remember you talking then, and that was the thing. Everyone goes to parties and they might have backpacks with, we used to have, I think they were Red Bears and Pulses and UDLs, right? But I never drank when I was a youngster because I was so dedicated. Now, obviously have a few now, but all the way up, it was always just discipline and had that common goal, but it was because of sport. So it's good that you mentioned that.
You check that Moxie for us, mate?
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, nah.
Looks like you could do with the fiery goodness of Pointsbet. It's like hot sauce, but for sport. And now it comes with lock screen tracker. So you can follow your bet even when you got your hands full.
Cheers, mate. I'd shake your hand, but...
Same game multi from Pointsbet, now with lock screen tracker. Yeah, that's built different.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
I want to go back. Who was the shining light in your life? Who was the person that kept you accountable to football, maybe a bit of basketball, but someone's clearly pulled you away from the pack and said, don't worry about going down there, mate, because you can always go down there. Come this way and see what you can do. And obviously you've gone that route, but there's obviously some people involved.
It's a good question, yeah. It's a great question. A few come to mind. Obviously my dad, he was someone that I just wanted to impress. There's a lot of instances where if I don't play a good game, I got to walk home. If I don't play a good game, he would leave and get a lift home because he had such a high expectation of how he saw his kids and how he wanted us to perform. And as you get older, you probably realize he played footy too, and I'm living his dream through me, and I'm grateful for that. But also the expectation to perform from him was one of the massive things for me. Wanted to perform every week, so then he would stay the whole game. And then when I sort of started to struggle and deal with, depression and anxiety and things like that, I started looking towards my brother, Matty. And he sort of took me and I lived with him for a while. Probably wasn't the best housemate or something, but I sort of learnt a lot from him and just the faith and belief he sort of saw in me at that age. Obviously, he's my brother, but I think...
A bit more love is what you're saying?
I think, we sort of got each other and there was a bit more love and he was really pushing me to do something too. So he's another one that was huge at those tough times. And then it's a bit of a random one, but I was at school and I mentioned AIM, but Marlon Motlop was actually one of my mentors for that. And I don't know, for some reason he just had an impact on my life at that particular time, and sort of just he kept me on track, I think, and especially because of his interest in music. He sings now, plays the guitar, and he travels. And
I played footy with Marlon at Peel.
I
know him quite well. Yeah, he's a lovely, one of the most, he's just the nicest guy you meet.
That's what I mean. When he would come to AIM, it's like he's not he's really just down to earth and just really
so chilled. He'd
really
be perfect.
chill.
He'd be perfect. I mean, at the time, he would have been through a lot of things that you're striving to go through as well.
And I think seeing familiar faces outside of home in the sense of like another Indigenous person or another Aboriginal person succeeding or just doing the right things definitely helped. So yeah, those are probably my three that at those particular times. Oh yeah, Mark Micken too. Micken Rubbers used to drop me off lasagna.
There you are. You need a feed, mate. You need a feed. Just on Marlon and the music, obviously he's a superstar on the guitar. He can sing. He's actually sung on the podcast with me.
Has he really?
We used to be in the van, mind you. This is when we
no
started.
way.
He's got a beautiful voice like you do.
Oh.
Did he help guide you through this music phase or did you always have it? I want to know a little bit more around the music. And are you I guess when you sing, is there elements of, touching it? I guess I feel like there's a lot of emotion when you write music or when you sing.
Yeah.
Is it because of the way you've brought up? Is it just the creative mind you've got? What is it when you're singing and you're kind of writing music?
Yeah. Another good question, by the way. It's probably
Thanks, mate.
something that I've always subconsciously lent towards. I don't think it was something I was always just like, I'm going to be the best singer ever. I'm going to be the best guitarist. It was just something that helped free what I was going through. And it's funny because you don't want to tell too many people and things like that, but those guitar moments and those lonely nights playing the guitar, like just playing all night, there's a lot of hours of playing and it was very soul cleansing in a sense, and didn't know that at the time that's what was happening, but I just always leaned towards the guitar when I was in sad times of my life and would carry the guitar and make sure wherever I stayed I'd have a guitar or someone would have a guitar and I'd just play. I was never that good, but it was something that I always leaned towards and felt as though like this is very spiritual. This is such a spiritual thing. And you spoke about like the emotion behind everything, but that's like the universal language is music. You know what I mean? It's sharing a message through song and sharing a learning through something. And people might be dealing with something and the song might hit better when they're feeling that certain way, and then when they're feeling a bit happier, it's like it doesn't hit the same. So I think music really impacts people because we're all the same as well. We all have the same emotions and we all go through struggle and we all deal with similar things. It's just about when you deal with it in your life and things. And it's great to see, music just bring people together and just inspire others, the same as football. I've always loved music, R&B, hip hop, like everything, country, all sorts, and it's something that I'm realizing is good for the soul. So I'm trying to lean more into it again.
Oh, that's great, mate. Well, you should keep leaning into it because you're very good at it.
Keep leaning like MJ.
Yeah, there's not many. Who else? Is there anyone else you've been jamming with in the league? Is there anyone else that can sing?
Oh, I tell you what, Kawat Chidi's a good singer and guitarist.
Oh yeah.
He at Gold Coast we played together, and he's a better singer than me. Like he's better than most people I've heard. Like he's got a good voice and he's a very calm guy. He's a very calm person. So he's a bit more. He doesn't want to.
Insular.
He's a bit more insular with his music. So
a little duet though. Can we get a little private duet?
Just what I was leading down. I was just trying to get him out of his comfort zone. Maybe come on stage with me or something and we play something.
That would be something.
Yeah, Cow's he can play. He can play seriously.
Or maybe you guys could just release a little cover together.
The Crows and Finbar.
Man, growing up, as you said, I want to go back to the old man scenario because this is, I think, I speak on behalf of my old man. I love my old man. He knows how much I love him. But I used to always know when I played average. He didn't leave me at the ground, but he definitely left me in the car. He wouldn't talk to me, I could just tell I didn't play well. It wasn't bad or anything like that. I'm not comparing at all. It was just, all I wanted to do was impress him as well. It's funny when you said that I picked that up. But when you say he would leave at half time, like did he ever give you the 4-quarter benefit? You know what I mean? Because you're one of those players that can pop up and kick 4 in a quarter. So did you ever say, hey, Dad, I was just about to, about to go off?
Just hold on one more quarter.
Was there a game where he might have left and you kicked 5 in the last? Like, is there any moments
that often happened actually? Like, because he would leave and I'd see he leaves and then I'd get angry and I'd go and kick 4. So maybe that's where those sort of late quarter spurts have come from. Actually, like him teaching me to use my anger towards scoring or something. So, obviously, it as you mentioned, I do love my dad and we've got a great relationship now. But, as a kid, I think we just all deal with stuff. And as you get older, you realize your parents deal with stuff just as much as we deal with things, and they're probably at an age where, they've had more stuff almost happen to them and they maybe haven't been able to regulate that as great as what, I guess in the AFL also we do get taught how to, you have to sort of mature fast and grow quick, and you get a lot of great mentors come in and they give you a lot of tips. So you can just imagine sometimes they probably haven't had the opportunity to be able to understand and set the resources. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. The resources that we do, especially now. I think the game's growing in that area a lot more. I'm not sure about when you played, but definitely in the last few years they've been trying to make a focus on that.
No, certainly. Yeah, it was pretty good back then, but it's only getting better, which is great. Mate, you were the youngest Indigenous player to ever debut in the SANFL. At the time, was that big? And even now, you reflect. That's like, do you think about that much and how proud you should be of that moment?
Yeah, definitely. I still think about that quite often, actually. It's just something that I'll hold close to me till I die. And it's just one of those things where it's part of your journey, you know what I mean? It's a massive thing, especially at that age. I was 15, under 16s, 16 playing under 18s, and then 16 playing reserves, and then 16 playing league, all in the 1 year. And it was just, yeah, it was huge. It was like, I almost felt like I had an advantage though, sort of against other blokes that were missing out on the opportunities. So I never looked at it as upon like, oh no, I'm going up against bigger bodies. Like, oh no, I'm scared. It was more like, they can't catch me. You know what I mean? It was more that attitude, and people can mistake it for cockiness, but you're better off going in cocky than going in timid and not having the belief in yourself. So you look back now and you think, yeah, I'm glad I had that confidence, and now it's just about honing it in as you get older, start to use it in better ways.
What do we call it? The tall poppy syndrome, the Aussies. And in America, it's more just confidence. So it depends on how you look at it.
And I do love the American sports.
I certainly think the confidence helps. So, yeah, I mean, that's why you would have chopped up when you played. Let's keep moving through. AIS squad, you mentioned with Keens earlier.
Yeah,
that's a big achievement
Academy,
at the time. That's to be named in that squad. You can see who's gone before you, so you would have thought, oh, I'm not far off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, NAB Academy was great. Like when I actually made that, it felt like I made it. You know what I mean? Because it was something that I didn't really think was achievable, but I had the belief. But it's just holy. I'm with the best players right now, and to be one of the better ones amongst the best players was just a great feeling at the time. And I always appreciate the opportunities and the lessons and things I've learned along through them. I still take like a lot of what we learnt from them into my career now, just about like preparation and things like that, and your diet and things like that was a big one, like coming in fit and ready, and just the expectation they had on the high end talent and stuff. But like you're talented, but also like that's only going to get you so far. I think was some of the messages was like Luke Powell, one of the greats. He's played however many games. I don't know, did he play 200 games?
I reckon he played more. I mean, I know, yeah. I mean,
I feel like, but
all the flags he won as well.
All the flags he won. Just a play like that is just dedicated and put his head over it and was just very team orientated. It was just good to learn off and understand if you want to make it last, you're going to have to almost put others before you in a sense, and then reap the benefits off the end, because the more you give, the more you get in a way. So
it's funny you say. I remember like when we were growing up as well, there's always talent will only get you so far, and they used a couple of examples, which I won't read the examples of because doing them dirty. But they had like really talented players, and they had like a guy that was just hardworking, and they compared their careers, and it's like, who should have had a better career? It's like, well, he should have, but he didn't, and this guy did. So you learn that young.
Yeah, just on that's a great message to push through, because at that age, they say it, but you don't believe it. You're like, oh, I'm talented enough. And yeah, I put my hand up. Like I had to learn along the way. Gold Coast times and early times, even just here, I was sort of transitioning into that more mature mindset. But to be able to see both ends of the stick and just have a contrast in behaviors and habits and things like that is huge. I think it's a massive advantage for me being able to come from someone that should have given up to someone that's never going to give up. You know what I mean? So I think that's a great message, that if you've got to take what the older generation tell you and filter it and get the truth out of that and really take and put into your toolkit is what I'm trying to say. Just create this massive toolkit and then filter the toolkit out as you get older, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Does. You can't listen to everyone, but you can take messages from everyone. And
just build your toolkit up. And
exactly
then
right.
filter.
Some messages you absorb and they don't make much sense, but you still listen, but you just might not
Some
put them in the
of them don't
toolkit.
make
You'll
any
sit them
sense.
straight through the bottom.
And I should have never put them in the toolkit.
Yeah, exactly right. But the hard work you just mentioned, I'm picking it up as you're putting it down.
Yeah, I love
Sounds like around year 5, you started to realise, hey, this talent ain't going to get me that far.
Yeah.
I've just got traded from Goldie.
Yeah.
I'm now at Adelaide. I'm still the most talented, but I ain't going to last in the league if I keep leaning on it. If I lean on hard work and talent, I'm going to be unstoppable. Is that what you kind of said?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And when did that click? Like, was there a person that said, mate, I understand. Was there someone in Adelaide that said, mate, you do this, I guarantee you enjoy your football more?
Yeah, it might sound crazy, but there's obviously heaps of people saying that from the beginning, but the one that affected me the most, it sounds crazy, was just the voices in your head, you know what I mean? The spiritual, the angels, and the gut feeling you get, and the just the gut-wrenching feeling you think, like when you visualize yourself not doing the right thing, just the disgusting feeling I get when I think about, oh no, you know, I didn't give my all, like far out, you know, I've got a second chance here, let's just go hard. So I think having gone through and been, I guess, less disciplined and just done the bare minimum was a great benefit for me now, because now I know what doesn't work. That's for sure. I've gone through what doesn't work. Now I'm just, what works? What works? What works? What works? Here we go. What works? Okay, that works. Put it in. That one goes out. I like this one better. Put that in. Bang, bang. This feels good. It was something that was constantly in the back of my mind, but as you can imagine, you never ever, someone can tell you something, hey bro, don't go left here, you know, don't go right there. But until you go left or right, you just don't know. So I think experience is the best way of learning. Experience and going through something is the best way to learn. Like, and I was very fortunate to have that mindset instilled probably from my dad and my mum. Like, it was pretty harsh, but growing up, if you didn't do something, you were like, you know, you're weak, you know, you're this. You're a B word and things like that. Like, you should be doing this because you need to be tough. You need to be strong. So I would just try everything and just figure out what I didn't like and where my gifts were. And sometimes they might be right. Like, maybe the messaging wasn't the greatest, but sometimes it was right. Maybe just go and try it. You know what I mean? Just go and do it and then make a decision for yourself. Like, honestly, like badminton, cricket, you know, I don't like cricket, but, you know, I tried it. And I don't like broccoli, but I tried broccoli. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
I didn't think I would like tomatoes, but I tried it. And I love tomatoes. You know what I mean? Those are the sort of things you got to start to
It's like
realize.
people that want a job when they come out of uni, I'd imagine, or footballers that get the arse and they look for a job. Or if you're in a job and you're looking to experience another thing, you just got to try it, is what I would say. And you'll work out what you don't want to do before you work out what you want to do. But it'll actually help steer and guide. And you start to go, oh, I love people, or I don't like people.
Yeah, that's right.
And you start to go, well, those jobs require to be with people, and you start to navigate it. But I feel like when I've had a lot of chats to people, because I've always been on the fringe when I was in, and I've been out for 4 or 5 years, and I talk to a lot of athletes, and I try to help them as much as I can through the little business stuff or networking or whatever. It's always, you've got a day off.
Yeah.
Go leverage, go speak to someone on the board and ask, how can I get some work experience?
It's a great point. I love that. And as a kid, it didn't process for me. It doesn't click. I'm just trying to, like, okay, I'm good at this. I don't want anything else. But as you mentioned there, going out and seeking more for yourself and thinking, what else can I achieve? Because football at the end of the day is not everything, man. Like,
what's the average? Like 3.5 years at least to say.
I think it's gone down to 3.5. I think it was 4.
And we know the first 3, you ain't making any cash till probably you're probably making cash around year 5 if you're early, but and then you need to get that second one.
You need to get to year 5, and that's right. Like, you need to perform well, and you need to make sure you get, like, you know, so I think the message you just said there is great. You know, just go and do something, explore stuff and ask questions and try and sit in that classroom, or just try and sit in that Zoom meeting and just be like, I don't like it here, or I love it here. You know, this is sick. This is something I'm interested in. And yeah, I love what you're doing and mentoring the others that are coming out. I think that's important for people transitioning out of AFL. You know, people are lost with that. I know that I get through off season and I feel lost. I'm like, well, where's my schedule? What am I doing?
You lose your routine. Yeah.
What's going on here? Like 2 weeks is enough. Like, get me back to training, this sort of thing. And I'm starting to realize, people need purpose. People need
Well, that's what you lose, I reckon. Like, I lost it. You lose. You have the common goal of a flag, and you lose man, you used to be around 70 people a day. You know, I'd get a G up just walking in and G'ing everyone else up. You know, and then I go home and I'm like, I'm tired. I go to bed. Do it again tomorrow.
That's right.
And when
That's
you don't
exactly
have that
right.
opportunity, you do get a bit lost. I was lost.
People got to see themselves as an asset, and I think you've done that well. Like, what are you good at? It's probably talking. It's probably getting the boys up. It's probably, you know, hanging out with the boys and promoting and, you know, all this sort of stuff that you're great at. I think people underestimate where they're at and how much talent they actually got outside of footy. Like, they probably, Riley O'Brien, great example, is the smartest dude ever, but also he goes to training, he puts his head over it. That's a huge contrast, you know what I mean? Going home and studying and becoming a doctor and things like, people actually can achieve more than what they think. And I think that's what I've been trying to push that message just with music. And like, I'm not the best. I know that I'm not the best, but it's something that I just enjoy. Like, why not? Why not try it? Like, why not go on stage and play in front of freaking 10,000 people? Like, who else gets to do that? And if there's someone sees me and goes, I can do that better, and they're going to try and get that. And I'm like, great. I want you to be better than me. I'm not trying to be the best. I'm just trying to be me. You know what I mean? And I'm just trying to play and I'm just trying to do things. I'm not trying to compete. Like, I am competing. That's part of that job and that's part of what we do and that's part of how we grow as well, is trying to compete with others. And a healthy competitiveness is great. But when you're just trying to put people down and be better just because you get told you're better than them is not a good way to look at it. You need to be doing things that you're interested in, you feel like this is your purpose, and I just think people underestimate how much they're actually good at.
And competing with yourself is something that I reckon people forget. This is the thing with the social media world, and it's great. I actually love social media in terms of the transparency, openness, the speed of news. I love my sport. You know how much I love my NFL.
Of course.
Just it's information dumps. You can educate yourself on the game. There's a lot of great things, but a lot of people compare where they're at.
You know, there's an actual trick to that, and I've looked. You know how you go on your phone and you look at something, so you're consuming this, and then the trend, and then it would come up and it'll put more of that same algorithm up, which you would know exactly. What I've started to do is just search up motivational videos and search up follow inspirational people. And you'll find that your following and your explore page is just all inspirational stuff.
Yes.
So that's a little trick for people out there. If you're feeling like, I just can't get off my phone, man. I just can't do this. I just can't. I feel so sad. Well, look at what you're consuming and also look at the habits that you got. Like, are your habits pushing you towards more happiness? Like, probably not. You probably sit there and go, I'm so unhappy, but then go home and watch a movie that's about death and things like that, and then go on social media and people dying overseas, and obviously you're going to feel sad. Let's just give it a break. Let's just focus on where we're at. Where are you right now? I'm sitting on the couch with you.
Yeah.
Let's be in the moment, man.
Be where your feet are.
That's one of the messages I want to push as well, is just, you know, focus on yourself and focus on the now. You know what I mean?
I need to get better at that. The phone is consuming. It's more the job. I mean, I use this like a laptop. Like I can be sharper on that than a laptop.
Oh, 100%.
So there's elements of
but you know when you're pushing it too far, and that's up to you to decide, is when you feel like, actually I could cut back. You know, once you get that, it's like, okay.
Yeah, big time. It helps with routine, obviously sleep and everything, but certainly a challenge. I save videos on Instagram. I've got like entrepreneur, business tips, funny content ideas, like, you know, news, whatever. Like, it does not stop. Motivation, gym, like exercise or stretching. But what I haven't done is I haven't gone back into these things I'm saving. And every time I save, I go, man, you're a bit of a fraud. Like even food, restaurants, I'll just save them, you know. And then when some people ask, like, where's a new restaurant? I can quickly go, bang, I've got the folder ready to go. But something that I need to do this year is stop, because it's always go, and reflect and go, right, where are we at? You know, you want to do that gym exercise? We'll fucking do it, you know?
That's all you need to do too. Like, all you got to do is just reflect. You don't have to go, I need to stop doing this. I need to stop doing that.
Yeah, you can't go too hard on yourself.
Who cares? Like, if you can have a chocolate, or you can consume that, but maybe just put a limit on it. Maybe just take a step back a little bit.
Exactly right. Let's go to just quickly pick 3. Gold Coast Suns. You know, big family down here. Massive family, really. Were you prepared for the move? Did you enjoy the move? Are you glad that you had the move? And obviously you're very happy to be home.
Yeah. Yeah, I think at the time, obviously, you're just excited to go wherever. You know, you're excited to be drafted and have your name called out. Like, it's pretty cool. Like, I still look back on it now. It's just like, those moments are so cool, and not many kids get to experience it. So I'm very grateful for getting to experience that and going to the drafts. But you look back now, and I was mentioning it before, you're just sort of, you're really young, aren't you? Like 18 years old, at that time I thought, yeah, I'm ready to move. Like, I'm just excited. I want to do this. I want to do that, ready to move out of home and move from a cultural perspective, move off my land sort of thing. So it was it was fun. It definitely was great, and it definitely was enjoyable. Like, I definitely didn't have any, regrets being over there and the transition over there. But it's just, you're never ready until you're ready. You know what I mean? You're never really prepared until you get prepared. Like, I get there and it's great and it's fun, but then reality starts to kick in. You're away from home, and that was one of the main issues for me. I dealt with a lot of homesickness, like a lot of nights. I would be just in my bed, just bawling, or I'd feel sick to get up, and I'd have to call in sick, or lots of moments of just sickness and just feeling of I want to go home at times and things like that, which is, I think, is normal for someone that moves away, but that connection to home at that time, to me, I didn't have the strongest relationship with my parents. Didn't have the strongest relationships with my siblings at that stage. Didn't have the strongest relationship with my friends at that stage. So it was very secluded over there, and I don't think a lot of people realised how hard I was doing it and how hard I was just covering up and dealing with a lot of issues. And I'd seek a lot of help and things like that, but I just don't think people fully understand how hard it can be for an 18-year-old to move over there and have to perform week in, week, especially being a high draft pick. It's tough with the expectation. It might have been easier if you just sort of got given a chance, just scraped in and was like, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna put my head down. But with the attitude I had at that age, it was just, I'm happy to be here. I've got all these skills and things, and I really wasn't looking after myself. My inner peace, if I could say that. But yeah, it was definitely a challenge. I definitely enjoyed my time though. A lot of friendships I still got over there, and just looking back on now, the journey was great. And like I said, I just learned so much being over there, being in a group that are pretty much, the leaders there now, their core group. We were sort of transitioning into the emerging leaders, and I was in that sort of group with those sort of boys. And it was just great to see us all just wanting to push this club somewhere and like achieve something and really be the starters of it. Like, I know Gold Coast tried a lot of times prior, but I think the group that I had at that, or they have now, definitely is just feels right, and it feels, the boys are invested and they can do something great, I think. So it's very interesting to see how much the club's grown since I've left.
You check that Logsy for us, mate?
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, nah.
Looks like you can do with the fiery goodness of Pointsbet. It's like hot sauce, but for sport. And now it comes with lock screen tracker. So you can follow your bet even when you got your hands full.
Cheers, mate. I'd shake your hand, but...
Same game multi from Pointsbet, now with lock screen tracker. Yeah, that's built different.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
What was your number one highlight, or what were the highlights of Gold Coast Suns for you?
You'd say, yeah, I was probably just more the friendships,
Relationships.
Just the relationships. Like, it's so crazy. You just think football is just going to be, I'm going to have all these highlights.
Yeah.
But you're actually in the system now, and footy's like, you want to win, but you barely, like, you do remember the games, but you really, the things that have an impact is like, the nights out with the boys, or, going and catching up as a group, or
Funny
just those funny
off-field.
moments in the gym, or
locker
room banter, like those sort of stuff is just you got to cherish that, because it just, once you go out, it's just, I couldn't imagine it'd be the same. So.
Well, yeah, they say there's nothing like a locker room. I mean, it's hard to compare when there's no real locker room in the, I call it the real world to the boys that are still playing.
The real world.
But yeah, there isn't. And it's obviously the mix of, players come and go. We know there's 4 or 5, maybe 6 that get cut every year. So you've got to appreciate each list every year, because some will be going. Right. Sometimes the best blokes, they might not be the, I think of some players that, made a huge impact on me, but they're always like the fringe players. So when you lose a couple of them, it does hurt the locker room a lot. It might not hurt the on-field, but it does hurt the off-field a little bit.
It definitely, and you can see that now. I've been 8 years, and I'm not the most experienced, but just even over these 8 years, like, people come and go. People up and leave, and things change, the club shifts, like things
What
like
about
that.
up and go? What about the time that you were gone and I just stood up and said, Sammy Collins, I need a spare room, and I ended up staying at yours for a week? You remember that?
Oh,
I don't think you even know. He goes,
I
mate,
remember that.
Hanks is in Adelaide. He goes, just stay there. I go, mate, you sure? Because I don't think I'm going to go home. COVID's still picking up in
there.
Melbourne. I'm going to stay at Burley Tab every night.
I hope the sheets were clean. That was a good spot. It was just tucked right
That was a
in out
nice
the back.
pad you had there.
Oh, it was great.
What area is that?
Miami? Nobbies, Mermaid.
Yeah, right on the beach. Jeez,
No, sorry, Miami Nobbies.
Yeah, Lockie Weller around the corner.
Yeah, Lockie Weller's around. He had a great spot there.
Yeah, I was living the dream there, just rolling around.
Yeah, you enjoyed it? You enjoyed my bed?
Yeah, mate, it was comfy
I got
bed,
back and it was a mess.
It would have been a mess,
It was terrible. Nah.
I told Colin
I
to
got
watch
a
it.
text and I was thinking, what
Who's
is
this
going on?
bloke?
What does he want to stay in my bed for? Like, I had never met you before. I don't think at that stage.
mate, you sure? This is a bit grim. He's only your first, I think, your first or second year. I said, oh, mate, well,
Like that.
Fred is
Yeah.
I was homeless, mate.
Yeah, well, I'm always hoping to help out.
That was a crazy time. That was, I think that was 2020 and COVID was just picking up back home. So I was like,
yeah.
Colo said he's got a spare room, and then he told me it was yours, I reckon,
Colo.
just after. But Colo's a great man. So someone that I appreciate, obviously, our friendship a lot, but admire how he got back in the system and how he's now having one of the greatest careers.
Yeah.
And if he can go on and win a flag and do what he's done at the Suns, to see where he come from, because I was obviously with him at Freo when he got the arse, went back to BFL, and at that time, that's when it's like, mate, I need to pick my life up and get a job. And he said, I'll give it one more crack. So blokes like him, mate, they're blokes you'll always respect and love that you got to meet them. Yeah,
players like that, like stories like that, happen, pretty often, like not too often, but when they do happen, it's it has a massive impact because, as we mentioned before, just the belief in himself, I guess, and the never give up attitude, never die attitude is just, that's what's really going to take you all the way. Like, that's what's really going to push you towards becoming the best version of yourself you could possibly be, is just always wanting to improve that 1%. You hear that all the time, the 1% better, 1% in this area, 1% in that area. And I think, being shafted from Freo, I think, hit him pretty hard, but just his mental strength to be able to bounce back and go, I deserve more, as everyone should think. Like, it's not a cockiness either, not the tools poppy syndrome. It's just, I deserve more. Yeah, you do deserve more. Everyone deserves we're the same. We come from the same sort of mechanisms, and we think, and we can be anything we want to be. Like, you could be anything you want to be. I could be anything I want to be. Why not try and get what you deserve? So, I think people that have that attitude, I really admire. So. If you're out there and you feel like maybe not giving up, or you feel like giving up or not wanting to take this job or take this opportunity or take this next step, or you might have done something 10 times, they say, and then the 11th time it happens for you. So just don't give up, because that desire, that purpose is what really matters in the end, and what goes the whole way.
Trying to think of the analogy or the photo, but it's something to do with like I think it was a message of, I'm probably going to cook this, but it was, how you go to a pawn shop and it's like it's a watch anyway. Yeah. And a bloke goes to like 8 pawn shops and they're like, yeah, it's only worth $20 and $50. Then he goes to another one, it's worth 500,000. And the message is like, sometimes you're just in the wrong spot.
That's right.
Sometimes you're just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. And when you're the right spot, right time, you find the perfect connection for something. And I've probably cooked that one, but people would have seen that and they would have felt they would understand what I'm saying. And I just remember saving, that was one of those ones. That was one of those ones I saved in my Instagram. Yeah, I haven't looked back, so as you can see, I'll get it up after here and I'll send it to you.
No, but that's a great. I'm a massive advocate for players and I'm not obviously I don't have a name, but I am massive on players, getting what they're worth and feeling the best that they could possibly be, and just feeling like they can thrive in an environment. So I encourage.
Good. You need that. You need that energy, man. I
encourage people to just keep moving until you find something you really want to do, or just find the environment. People move clubs. So often someone will be at a club and there'll be a fringe player, like you're saying, go to another club and be one of their best players. Like, don't give up on the dream. You might be in the wrong environment for you to achieve what you want to achieve, or just feel your best. So for other players, never settle for if you feel like you can do more, then I think you can.
I'm really flat I cooked that analogy as well. I'm going to have to get that one up. I'm just really flat. Morgs, if you can just cook that, just find that watch one for me, the pawn shop. It was in my head and I'm like, how can I get it out? I haven't prepared for this one.
Yeah. Put that in and keep the real.
Let's talk about the Crows. Let's talk about last year.
Yes.
You had a fantastic year all the way through. It didn't end the way you would have liked.
Yeah.
Let's address the elephant in the room quickly. But what were the lessons that you've learned, and what have you put into practice to get yourself to fire back and have a big season this year?
Oh, definitely just that self-discovery stuff I spoke about just before. But I know it was always in the back. It was always in the background. I always, felt spiritually connected, or just felt like I could do more. I just felt more than what we are, sort of thing. Because the realm that we live in now, it sounds crazy, but we're more than what we are. We are a spirit, and we are, in just what we see is just the perspective of what reality can show us. So I always had that curiosity, but then obviously when I had to deal with the year and had to deal with that big issue that I went through and had that mistake, and I put my hand up completely. It's something that I don't live by, I don't stand by. It's something that I know I made the mistake, and I wasn't trying to avoid the mistake, but I'm very grateful for, the people that were around me, the lessons I learned from that mistake, and just the person I've come out on the other side of the whole situation. As I mentioned before, it was always in the background, but to put it in context, like you have to go real low to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and really self-reflect and make some adjustments and, bounce back, I guess. But yeah, I was in a very, very dark, very, very low place. But then again, that belief in me was just, you're going to bounce back. You're going to be better. You're not a bad person. You could still come out and do the best you can. You can still be the best. This doesn't define you. And I think, people just got to always have that self-belief. Like you mentioned, like it's not cockiness. It's just the belief that you can do anything you want. And so often the greats have that same outlook, in all the industries, music industry, everything. So people that have that outlook always seem to achieve what they want. So yeah, definitely when I had to deal with that, I did some self-reflection, got into my meditation, visualization, journaling non-stop, and just reading books and having that time to myself, and just, like you said, like putting the phone away, being able to just sit in the room on myself and feel happy about who I am. But it's a bit of a challenge, especially when you don't like yourself, or when you're not the best version of yourself, and you're not making the right decisions, or you don't have the best habits. It's tough for someone to go, yeah, okay, I need to change. And that's with life, not just football. That's just how I am as a friend, in a relationship, with your significant other, your family, how your relationships are with your siblings, how you respect others and the world. And even when you're driving, like, you do the speed limit and things like that. Like, it's very silly. It sounds crazy, but karma is real, and doing the right thing, it does fill your bucket, you know what I mean? Picking up trash and putting it in, just small things like that, and just being respectful and treating others how you want to be treated is huge. And the turning point was just like, obviously being at the bottom and just thinking, what else? I can either sit here, wave the white flag, just sit here and give up, because I wanted to retire. I wanted to finish and I don't want to do this no more. I'm done. People taking advantage of you.
Is that how hard it got?
Oh yeah, yeah. You want to give up. You want to retire. Depression and things like that. The thing is that I was dealing with that stuff already. Like, I was already dealing with that stuff through my family and through the circumstances I was given. So it was very tough to then be hit again and, sat on my ass a bit. That was tough, like having to deal with already family issues, being one of the leaders in my community and being looked upon for things and expected to be places and show your face and things like that, and just look after everyone in the community. It was tough. And yeah, and then to be put on your ass like that is really like, why is this happening to me? Why? What is going on? Who am I? What have I done? Like, you start to question who you are, and you start to question what you've been doing and how you've been acting, and who you've been hanging around with, and what's been really going on, and why you are where you are. Like, so often, like, you can get yourself out, but so often people go, oh no, this is meant to be, I'm supposed to, this is terrible, this is happening to me, I'm a victim. But you got to turn that and use it for the better. And I'm just a living example that you can do it. Like it's so crazy when you think about others that have dealt with stuff and you go, oh man, I know he's an exception, but like, he's an exception of the exception. Like he's obviously like, I don't know if you can do it. I'm telling you right now, you can. Like, if I can do it, and it sounds crazy, but honestly, anyone can do it, man. Like, it's all about reps, consistency, and believing in yourself, and having the desire, and knowing your purpose. And I'll give you an example, right? If I wanted to be the best golfer ever, I wouldn't go and train AFL. I wouldn't go train AFL. I'd train golf 24/7. I would try and pursue golf and make golf me as a person, and pursue myself so much. Too often people are going, I want to be like this, but are acting this. Like, how are you going to get to that if you're acting the complete opposite?
You've got to put the work in.
You got to put the work in. As soon as you start to align your actions with your words and where you want to be, things will happen, and you'll feel gifted, and you feel talented, and you feel, because you are gifted and you are talented. But just go and pursue what you are gifted. Don't try and be something that you're not. You know what I mean? So find what you're good at and believe and have fun in it, and pursue that to the fullest capability of what you can.
No, really well said. And I only want to touch on it one more point, but you sound like you're in a really good space right now, and you've done a lot of work on yourself. Are you really proud about the work you've done since the mistake? You've acknowledged that you've put your hand up, you've owned it. Are you really proud about all the work you've done and where you sit right now heading into the season?
100%. You got to be proud, and you got to go, yep, I've done a great job. Just as much as you go, I've done a shit job. Like, you know what I mean? You can't just dwell on all the shit stuff you've done. You can't just sit there and go, yeah, I made this mistake, because then that becomes you. As soon as you let that become you, that's when you sort of lose yourself and you become that. So I'm just sitting there going, I'd rather tell myself I'm okay. I'd rather tell myself I'm the greatest. I'd rather tell myself you're handsome. I'd rather tell myself you're the best player out there. Like, rather than saying, oh, maybe I can't do this, or maybe I can't do that. What's that gonna do? Like, what do you expect comes out of that though? Like, what? And I'm guilty of it. And I'm only laughing because it's that easy. I'm only laughing because you can do it. And people just, it's frustrating, because that's something I have to accept too, is that, people tend to go through this experience at different stages of their life, but you can do it, man. It's just funny to think back that what you're saying to yourself really becomes your reality. Like, whatever you say to yourself becomes your reality. You said you can do this podcast. You believed in yourself. You know what I mean? You might have had some doubts, but most of the time you were like, bring yourself back. Actually, I'm going to just do it. Oh, man, it's going to be good. I don't care. I'm just going to do it, my mate. So I'm just going to pursue this just because, like, I really enjoy this. It's something I want to do.
It's a funny thing when your mind just wanders to no man's land.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's like, well, in football, would always say, control the controllables.
Yeah.
Which is pretty basic, but it works.
Yeah.
Control this. You can't control that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But mate, just so you know, I'm very happy with what you just said. As a big fan of yours, and obviously last year there was, this is external noise, but you made a mistake. You're human. Everyone makes mistake. Unfortunately, news everywhere, media everywhere, and everyone gets to see your mistake. But the way you own it, to say you're in a great place right now, you can see how passionate you are about helping people. I'm just really excited to see not just this year, but the next 10 and everything else you're doing. And you're helping the community. You're very passionate.
Yeah,
you should be really proud of what you've done.
I am sorry to anyone that I affected or, caused any havoc to. Like, I never meant to do that. But all I can say is that, I put my hand up and let's move forward together, because we're on the same side. We're on the same team.
Yeah, well said. Move forward together. It's really important. Let's talk about this year. Are you going to play a bit more midfield? There's a big question around, we need you on the midfield because when you're in there, a lot of things happen. It's just you score. Are we going to see you in the midfield a little bit more? You are looking very fit. I don't know if it's a bit leaner. You said you're off the piss as well. No more alcohol.
Yeah, no more
You're
alcohol.
making some big shifts in your life. So that means generally big season. Every time someone's off the piss, they have a big season. Are we going to see a more durable, when I say durable, probably not durable, probably more just a...
durable.
Is durable the word? I think more, I was trying to look for endurance, someone that can just endure the midfield demands more than just playing forward.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I've cooked that, like the watch analogy, but you know what I'm saying. We just want to see you. We want to see you around the ball a bit more because when you're there, we score.
Yeah, look, we've been training a lot of midfield stuff and just getting my head wrapped around structures and the role that they want me to play. You know, I don't want to go too haywire. Like, you know, I'm part of a team at the end of the day, and that's become a mindset of mine is, you know, I want to be in there. But if it benefits the team, I want to be in there. If it benefits us winning, I want to be in there. And at the moment it is. So we'll keep chugging along with that and just, you know, treating it, you know, as it comes really, as we've made, you know, Rash has been in there too. He had a whole quarter today actually, which is great. He did such a good job too. So we've got so many players that can fill that role. It's just about sharing the load and really using it to our benefit. We got to see each other as one unit. You know what I mean? You got to see each other as just one unit that's moving. And as soon as one part of that vehicle comes out, then you might just shift a little bit. So if everyone can just stay in their space or stay in their spot, play your role.
Play your role.
It's simple as that, you know, play your role and things will happen. So, you know, I've been guilty of trying to do too much, but you know, you just learn, you just keep learning, you just learn and you just learn and you just learn. Like that's all it is. That's life.
Who's stepping up this year? Who's a player that the Crows fans can be excited about? And maybe I always go to the super coach. There's a lot of people out there that play that kind of stuff. But is there anyone that's popping through? You go, this guy will have a big year. You might not know him, but he's ready to go.
Clearly Dan Curtin. Like, I know he sort of hurt his knee, but you know, when he comes back, or if he does come back, he's going to be a force. Another one I just want to give a quick shout out to is Oscar Ryan. Like, if he can get a crack out of this year, it would be massive for him. I think he's made some real strides in his football ability, and not that he's football. He's always had the football ability, but just the confidence and the mental strength to just, you know, make a mistake and then move on for it is huge. So I reckon he'll have a good season. Hopefully he can start pushing for selection. But yeah, also Nate Curvis, he's killing it.
Yeah, nice. Who kicks more goals, you or Rochelle?
Come on, mate. Come on.
Midfield time, you don't get up there as much.
I've kicked more goals. I'll still kick goals from mid.
Yeah, I'm just testing you. The one thing with you is we won't talk, mate. Well, I can't wait to watch the footy season this year and watch you boys dominate. Now, mate, you got great fashion. Have you always been a fashionable guy? I remember when I stayed in your room, I looked at you might have borrowed a couple of T-shirts with a belly band. No, I'm only stirring you up.
That's where that top went. That's my top.
No, this sounds up the road today. I had to mix it up after the Traby head. Yeah, but you've always had great fashion. Has that always been something that you pride yourself on?
Oh, yeah, definitely something that I've always like had interest in for some reason, like hip hop, R&B, like expressing yourself. And growing up, that's where I always got frustrated. Like, why can't we express ourselves and why can't we be cool? You know, why can't we have earrings and why can't we just wear chains and stuff? And I think that's a cultural shift we need to move towards because it's going to benefit the game. It's going to get more exposure. People are going to be themselves more rather than just sitting in a box. So I'm going on this rant, but rather than sitting on a box and just going like, you have to dress like this, you have to be
mate,
like...
don't get me started on this. Well, you know what? I'm going to gift you a pair that I reckon you'll love. I've got the Soho cherries here. This is a little gift from the team at Rick's. Chuck them on before you go on about some questions I've got around fashion.
Yeah, these are nice. I've wore a pair of these before.
Oh yeah, bang, they work nicely with that crispy white tee. Let's start with fashion, right? Do you think the AFL needs to go casual clothes, pre-game fits?
Yeah, I'm massive on that. I'm huge on that. I've been pushing that for years. Like trying to like just wear whatever socks you want to wear. Like that's very small, but like...
You mean on game day, whatever socks you want?
So I'm talking about game day. I'm talking about rolling there like all G'd up. Like you see the NBA, how much more like, I guess maybe that's why the AFL don't want to do it, but how much more players can, you know, promote themselves and, you know, they might get brand deals and watch deals and it's just going to promote the game even more. So I think they're missing on that area a bit, but also, yeah, coming to training.
I think pre-game fits and a photographer. You know, I think League Fits does it with the NBA. I think that's the first shift. I think changing your socks is a big one.
So I try to wear like Nike socks or Monster socks.
No, I was just thinking about that guy that was wearing his headband. I think it was Suggs or someone from the NBA. He's wearing it around his neck, and it's like they ban that shit straight away. But I reckon pre-game fits is something that we should do in the AFL. I just think the tracksuit. I reckon
for some guys, don't try. Don't get Riley
O'Brien,
or even like Josh Worrell roll in.
Yeah, but hey, that's a beautiful thing.
He would roll in thinking he's going to a BTV.
Hey, they can just wear their casuals, man. They can just wear their casuals. I just think they should rock. If you love fashion, and there are brands. I mean, Ricks, we'd love to see boys rolling in game day.
Might have to like pass some sort of test. Like, hey, can you really?
We could do a PR stunt, you know, where we just roll in. You could just wear your favorite kit. Everyone else, maybe wear a suit.
Yeah, but you won't be able to let in. You won't be able to get let in if it's not.
I think you get in though. That's the thing. They just give you a fine. And that's where I think that's what Jordan was doing. He's getting fines. The difference is Jordan and Nike were paying those things to a lot of cash.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think any brand wants to be paying these AFL fines for blokes not wearing their attire. But I'm big on that as well. When do you think the AFL will come around to that idea?
When we get together as players and put a hand up, because they would take it. They'll keep taking advantage of what they can. But until we as players start to stand up for ourselves a bit more, I don't know if you want to put this in, but yeah, it's sort of, we got to stand up together and just like I said, just know what we are worth, and let's make this game of sport enjoyable to watch and fun and inclusive and whatever. Like, I know that's the effect they're trying to have with everyone wearing the same clothes, but it's actually doing the opposite effect. Why not express ourselves, and why not just be you and be me?
I love it. I mean, they do it in the NFL, NBA. I think we're trying to copy similar models, so why not? What else should the AFL do? We've all got rules. We've got the things that you'd like to change, hypothetically speaking, so you don't get in trouble. Is there anything that you'd like to change about the game?
Yeah, first off, I'd change the bounce. Get rid of the bounce so you can just run.
I think we got rid of that. Did we get rid of the bounce?
The bounce? Isn't the bounce?
Oh, you mean bouncing on the run? I thought you meant the centre square bounce.
Sorry, bouncing on the run. I got called for that way too many times. Or at least extend it.
There was one against the Pies that stands out.
Yeah, that one hurts. But either extend how long we can run, because I was certain I didn't run that far. But yeah, that's just
that's actually I've never heard anyone bring that up. Get rid of the bounce. So you just keep running.
Maybe just getting running. Like, no one will be able to catch like some of us players, like Cosy Pickett. No one will probably catch him.
It would be actually cool to see a game with the rules, maybe an exhibition game where you can run without bouncing.
Run without bouncing, just see where it takes us.
I've never heard anyone. That's actually a good idea.
Just
get and
run. Just run.
It'd be good for you because you're quick. Someone like me chasing you would be a nightmare.
Not.
We need you to bounce and fuck the bouncer.
That's what happens. So that's why I hate it, because people are on these sick runs and then they take a bounce and they screw it.
Yeah, obviously you look down when you bounce, so it takes your vision away from who you're going to kick it to as well. What else? Anything else? That's a good example.
I don't mind the maybe 7 points from outside 50. I think having a big leg on you and putting it through the middle was pretty special. Like, it's pretty sick. You just watch it sail in. I think that's worth at least an extra point, a half a point. But we're trying the last touch rule. I think we're doing that at training. I think they bring that in, like, obviously in between the arcs.
Are you enjoying that at training?
I actually like it. Yeah, I was very skeptical of it and was unsure how it would go, but it's just no grey area. If you kick then it's gone out. If you handball then it's gone out. Like, clearly it's their ball. It just leaves the grey area. It's like eliminates the grey area.
Are you finding boys are trying to keep the ball alive and go to the corridor a bit more?
And that also. Like, people are just like not just bombing it down or, taking it out or handballing somewhere and fumbling it. Like, it sort of keeps the game in play and is having, I don't know, just the couple of quarters we played has just had a good effect on the game.
That's good to see. I mean, we want to see the game just stay quick and keep the ball in. I mean, no one enjoys the stoppage. I mean, I don't think you'd enjoy a stoppage. You get held to half.
I like the stoppage so I can get out the back.
You can get out the back on fatigue. If this thing's going up and down, I guarantee you get the back. No one's going to be able to keep up in the last quarter this year. Just on the fashion, have you ever thought about doing your own brand or doing a collaboration with anyone? Or?
Yeah. I think I've always explored like all that sort of stuff. Drew, designed T-shirts and printed stuff, and like I've done that since mid high school. Probably I printed these T-shirts and drew on these white blanks and stuff. Fashion is just, to me, it's a massive part of like who I am, but also I think feeling good, looking good, you play good. I think if you present yourself in a certain way, you tend to get better stuff tends to happen to you. So I'm not trying to say like you have to always wear this and wear that, but just put a little bit of effort into how you look and how you're feeling. Then your feelings might aligned with how you look, sort of thing. So you'll be amazed how many opportunities come your way.
I like it. Oh man, we might have to get you going with the Rixies. The way you're looking in the Sohos, the fashion.
These are my favorite. I'm telling you now, I wore these all. Well, it feels like summer's only coming, but even just the summer gone, I've rocked these. And I'll tell you a funny story. We're in Sydney and for the footy trip, and we'll keep it tame. But Crouchy took my glasses. Matt Crouch took my glasses. You'll find this funny. And I said, "Oh no worries, I'll come back for it." 20 minutes later, I come back and say, "Where's my glasses? Because these are my favourite glasses. Like, these are the ones." And he goes, "They're gone." I said, "Where are they?" He said, "I don't know." I said, "Crouchy, where are my glasses?" "Oh, I don't know." And I go, "Crouchy, where are my glasses?" Start hugging him. I was like, "Find my glasses." Anyways, wake up the next day and my glasses ended up back down in the lobby. So I was so happy I ended up with the
That's
Rex.
right. Crouchy's trying to flog him. Which is,
Crouchy tried to flog him.
Yes, that's good by you. I can see what you. I know what you would have wrestled him and given him.
No, because I'm not even like, you're not paying me for this. You know, these glasses fit that well, and honestly, everyone's got to have this in at their house or in their glasses kit. Like, I've tried to wear heaps of glasses, but these are great.
Oh, that's good. No, I appreciate that. That's good. Yeah, the Soho, that's the frame that they do suit everyone. I can't believe it.
Even they suit Rob as well, which is crazy. I don't know. He came in the other week and he was wearing these swimming shorts that were up his crack and just a white plain top, and it was just up, like his belly was out, and he just rolled in training, but he had Ricks on, so I'm like, all right, I'll let you off the hook.
You let him off the hook.
I let him off the hook. I was like,
there you go.
That passes.
Eyewear that inspires confidence. The old Soho cherries.
Oh, he can't see himself.
That's brilliant. No, the boys are good. You guys are a great group. I remember last year's helped us out a lot with the gather round, and Cheese is awesome as well. I remember he just dropped the box off.
You got a lucky one there, mate, because he just tips those dice.
He's the best, mate. He's the best. He's such a good fella, and congratulations to him in there. They just had a gorgeous girl. Well, mate, thanks so much for jumping on the pod. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I really appreciate you jumping on and being so honest. And you got a bright future ahead, and on and off the field. We've hardly even spoken about the music. I think just before we do finish up, what do you want to get out of that? Like, what are we going to see next? Because when I watched that video, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, you correct me if I'm wrong, but last year, where the crowd set, gather around, and you're just sitting on the guitar and everyone's just still and you're just banging out tunes. It's so powerful. So first of all, congratulations. And second of all, what's next?
Oh, good question. I think I'm taking a step back, definitely. I've done 2 years with that, and it's like a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety comes with it. You don't want to mess it up. You can just imagine being out there just ruining a note or just ruining a strum, and because you're in control of, you're not like footy where you're out there with 18 blokes and someone messes up and you can sort of, if you mess up, you're up there by yourself. So that was one of my massive fears, and I sort of had to overcome that. But I'd love to just continue just to play, do a few gigs maybe, but like more low key, maybe in the back of a bar or something. And if anyone wants me to come and play, lead guitar or something, I can do that. But I'll just keep it as an interest, keep it as a hobby, and keep it in the background. I love music. I
was just thinking we should do this for gather round on the Friday night. This is my idea, right? You know how they dress up people, and they, I saw Alcaraz was dressed up as like the doorman for the Aussie Open, but they didn't really cover up his face. Like Kyrie Irving's done. What was Kyrie Irving with the old man, with the basketball and all that?
Yes.
We should dress you up undercover. I think Cristiano Ronaldo's even done it on the street where he's doing it and no one wanted to know him, and then he takes his mask off and they all come.
Yeah, that won't happen to me.
We should do something like that with you, where we get you in a really busy pub and you're playing tunes.
Can you imagine everyone just getting up and
leaving? Get all the Adelaide Crows fans maybe after the game.
Maybe they're like, who's just blown?
Mate, you had 10,000 last year. You could easily do a pub. What are you talking about?
They paid.
Think big, mate. Think big. It's all about, if you think big,
I love that idea. I love that sort of stuff, especially like with social media and things, and just the message it promotes. You know what I mean? It's fun. It's banter.
It's fun. Take the piss. It's good.
Yeah, it's great. We might look into that.
There you go. He's taking a spell. We're going to try to keep him off, out of the paddock, as you'd like to say, and get you back out there and playing tunes, because you're very good at it. Well, mate, thank you so much for jumping on the pod.
No
really
worries.
Appreciate the honesty.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The openness and diving into growing up and what it was like. I've learned a lot just sitting here listening, and so is everyone else at home, and really appreciate it. And we can't wait to see what you do this year and beyond.
No worries.
To everyone else out there that tunes into the podcast, we love your support. We hope you enjoy our work. Hope you enjoyed Izak's work. So get around him, follow his stuff. Thanks so much for jumping on and watching this one or listening to this one, wherever you are. If you haven't subscribed, hit that button. Tell them, Izak, hit the button, subscribe.
Make sure you subscribe, hit the button. But no, thanks also for giving me the platform to be able to talk and have a chat with you. This is amazing. You're doing such a good job, so all the best.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate the kind words. And I'm really grateful for your time after training. So thank you to you and thank you to everyone else that tunes in, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, I'm Shaquille O'Neal. I'm wearing Rick's sunglasses, made in Australia.
Shaq loves Australia.
See?
There we go.
Your first commercial right there.
Head to checkout and use the discount code ACES and you'll get 20% off site-wide. Rick's, eyewear that inspires confidence.